So our next speaker is Christine Peterson, who's president of TripAdvisor for Business, a division focused on redefining the way tourism industry markets to travelers. Based in London, Christine oversees business-to-business initiatives and revenue streams, including business listings and partnerships. Christine joined the company in 2004 as Chief Marketing Officer. She saw tremendous growth of site traffic, revenue, content, and membership. So who better to give us an overview of the emerging trends in social media, communications, citizen journalism, and ultimately the links between these evolving tools and hospitality and tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Christine Peterson.
Thank you so much to the British Hospitality Association for inviting me to today's event. It's absolutely a pleasure to be here. Social media, no doubt, is at the forefront of everyone's mind these days. Nearly every brand is either actively experimenting with it or looking to take the leap. But in an era of economic caution and carefully monitored budgets, is social media really worth the investment and the effort? The unequivocal answer is yes, even though the hard and fast ROI from social media is often hard to measure. It's a HubSpot. It is a source of tremendous influence for an astounding percentage of the world's population, including, of course, travelers. In the next few minutes, I hope to give you a top-level look at what's happening in the social media world today, why it matters, and how you can engage in a way that's both impactful for your customers and can significantly move the needle for yourselves. So industry research agrees on social media's importance. In a 2012 study, the US-based online travel research company Focusrite concluded that the voice of the traveler, as heard through different social media channels, is increasingly influential at all points in the travel planning cycle. More importantly, everyday people on the street testify to their reliance on different forms of social media for travel-related activities.
I use Facebook. I write to the hive mind, which is actually all my friends. What can I do in East London or somewhere?
I have used TripAdvisor when I went to Spain, and it did actually help. You feel like you know where you're going before you've already been.
We blog every day, just write different things about what we did and then maybe post pictures.
I used to use Lonely Planet a lot, but now with the internet it's obviously a lot more current. So go on various websites, check out what other people have said, especially for restaurants, eateries, that sort of thing.
It's the accuracy. We've used it going to Canada, the States, as well as locally in England. And it's the accuracy of the recommendations that you make, both in terms of hotels and what to see when you get there. It's really usually very, very good.
More when I pick a place to see if I really want to go there, I'll read the reviews and see what they look like, and then finding a place to stay.
What's really good resource on TripAdvisor is the forums. So basically, to get an unbiased opinion and views from other fellow travelers is really good.
I usually post pictures on Facebook and tell people where I've been to and if it was great or not.
So no comment certainly on the public offering recently, but in the social world, nowhere are there more voices than Facebook. It's the world's most dominant social network. If it were a country, Facebook would be third, behind China and India. 900 million active users. In Europe, nearly 233 million folks are active on Facebook, and in the UK, 31 million citizens, or nearly half the country's population, use the social networking site. And projections indicate that worldwide social network usage is going nowhere but up. In 2014, we expect that just less than 2 billion people will be active on it. And while Facebook is absolutely the 800, or shall we say 900-pound gorilla, other social media sites are very important too. Twitter has more than 500 million accounts, and 340 million new tweets are sent out every day. That's as if everyone in the US raised their hand and spoke at once, of course with absolutely no culture involved. Twitter is a great place to promote your property. What we did at TripAdvisor, we often put out awards to hotels, restaurants, attractions listed on our site. And a couple of weeks ago, we awarded the top 10% of those businesses with what we call our Certificate of Excellence. So you can see a lot of hotels actually took to Twitter and began talking about the fact that they had recommended their Certificate of Excellence win, which is terrific. Monitor what you're saying about you, and keeping an eye out for potential guests is actually a terrific use of Twitter. Pinterest, just show of hands, who knows about Pinterest? Okay, great. Less well known, but it's growing extremely fast. They have more than 17 million visitors every month and saw a 4,000% increase in the past 6 months. What I love about Pinterest is it's the equivalent of a scrapbook on the web. If you're not familiar with it, you think, what industry loves scrapbooking more than the tourism industry? Any business can set up a Pinterest profile, and you can pin images to share. And then other Pinterest users, those 17 million growing at that incredibly rapid clip, can come along, take those images, put them on their boards or in their scrapbooks and share again. And a business can also add a very simple pin on their site, on their photos, which allow users that come along to take the images and again, pin them into their scrapbooks. And of course, I have to talk a little bit about TripAdvisor. Review sites are absolutely a critical part of the social media scene for hospitality businesses. TripAdvisor has 60 million reviews and opinions and 50 million unique monthly visitors. We're a critical player. We are the largest travel website in the world. Our content has grown incredibly rapidly since opening our doors in 2000, and it continues to do so. 40 new reviews and opinions come in every minute of every day. We're also very much a global company. We operate in 30 countries, we have 30 domains, 21 languages, with 75% of our audience coming from outside of the US, where we were founded. We've received reviews from members in 99% of all countries worldwide, and we have reviews for businesses, and we have 1.6 million listed on our site in every country in the world today, including, of course, the UK. We saw, year over year, a 67% page view growth on UK accommodations, and that's significantly higher than what we've seen globally, so no doubt due to the interest in all of the wonderful events which are happening in the UK this year. 53% of the UK properties reviewed on Trip in the past 90 days, so more than half reviewers have come in and written something about them just in the past 90 days, and the vast majority of those are actually positive. And how much do British shoppers rely on TripAdvisor? Last October, Focusrite found that 74% found travel reviews to be very influential when shopping. And while TripAdvisor is very much a social media site, we recognize the power of other social media sites as well. Facebook has actually been quite a key focus of ours for a number of years. 5 years ago, when Facebook first opened up their platform for external development, we built an application called Cities I Visited. Very simple application. It allowed you to use the world map and pin different places that you had been. Interestingly, we actually had developed that for TripAdvisor first, rolled it out, and it was an absolute flop. But moved to the social graph of Facebook, and it was a huge winner. 20 million people have used Cities I Visited. They pinned over 1.5 billion places around the world. And in 2010, we began to use those pins to tell travelers where their friends had been. So if they came to TripAdvisor looking at London, we could immediately populate that page and say, did you know? These folks in your Facebook network have been to London. We show them now what places those friends have reviewed, recognizing it an endorsement or a thumbs down from someone you know matters much more than what a seemingly anonymous review may matter. In essence, what we have done is moved from the wisdom of crowds to the wisdom of friends with the more personalized traveler recommendations. Since we are now one of only 8 global instant personalization partners of Facebook, more than 100 million travelers have had a personalized experience. Those 100 million are 27% more engaged, they contribute twice as much content, and they generate much more revenue. So this means for those 100 million folks who have come to our site, their friend content appear before any other contributions. Again, we really are moving from the wisdom of crowds to the wisdom of friends. The integration has made us the world's largest social site, and we continue to make travel planning even more social for the TripAdvisor community. Just back in April, we launched what we call Friend of a Friend. And so what that allows is not only can you see your network's contribution, your Facebook network contribution on TripAdvisor, but you can now see their network. So we do have a barrier in there for privacy concerns, so I can't see that your friend Tom reviewed this hotel, but I can see that a friend of yours has reviewed this hotel. So it's a one person removed, but we do have the privacy concerns taken care of in there. Travelers are now 10 times more likely to see personalized travel advice from a larger network of travelers that they know on TripAdvisor. So social media is there, but does it matter? And again, the answer is absolutely. In April, Nielsen research found that the opinions of both people you know and our consumer peers are highly influential during the shopping process. Nielsen found that shoppers trust earned media, like the recommendations of family and friends, above all other forms of advertising, and that online reviews are a close second. The trust in online reviews has continued to grow over time, with 15% more of those surveyed giving them a vote of confidence than they did just 1 year ago. What types of advertising came in below is far less trusted, exactly what you would think, all of the traditional ones. Branded websites, newspaper editorial content, advertisements in all sorts of contexts, billboards, TV, out of home, radio, video games, magazines, and on top of search engine results. So it's hard to talk about social media and the changing social landscape without touching briefly on mobile. 87% of the world's population are mobile subscribers. 7 in 10 users under 35 in the UK have internet-capable phones. That's 7 in 10 mobile users, UK, France, and Germany, have internet-capable phones. Worldwide, more than 250 million people access Facebook. That's more than a quarter of all of their members through their mobile devices. 57% of Twitter's users use Twitter mobile. And all in all, 91% of mobile internet usage is social related. We know from our mobile experience that people want to plan travel on the go as well. TripAdvisor's mobile app, which is available free on all the major platforms, is the second most downloaded travel app in the world, right after Google Earth. We have more than 23 million unique visitors per month, and that's on top of the 50 million to our desktop, our website. 23 million come in via mobile devices, and the page views on mobile devices are up 250% from last year. So no doubt social is important, and as a hospitality professional, what do you do about it? What do you tell your clients? What do you tell your teams to do about it? So I'll wrap up by quickly reviewing how to leverage TripAdvisor, which of course I know very well, and sharing a few tips on general social media engagement as well. The first thing to do on TripAdvisor as a property owner, and that is as a listing on TripAdvisor, one of our 1.6 million hotels, restaurants, tours, attractions, if you haven't done so already, is to register. It's free, and it gives you access to a lot of free marketing tools. Over half of UK accommodations have at least one registered representative, which is terrific, but it should grow. And what they're doing, what they can do on their TripAdvisor property page is very important. You can encourage reviews. You can track your reviews. You can respond to the reviews. You can update your property description, your amenities, your photos, and you can add traveler reviews to your very own website. We also have one business subscription, business listing service, which allows properties to come onto TripAdvisor and add 3 points of direct contact to the property, as well as post special deals and offers. It's incredibly powerful. Worldwide, we have over 200,000 properties that have registered with us, and tens of thousands of those have taken advantage of the contact placement. But in terms of your brand forays into other social media sites, I guess I'll leave you with really what I call three tips. First, social should happen every step of the way. Social is organic and sharing is inherent, but they don't productively happen only on their own. You have to facilitate it and fold it in at every stage of the process. At TripAdvisor, we're very fortunate in that we have prolific contributors. There are reviewers that have written hundreds and thousands of reviews, thousands of forum posts, hundreds of photos. But we work very, very hard to encourage and to reward those members and their efforts to keep the content coming and to connect them with the larger community. When a member submits a review, they're acknowledged with a thank you. They're also asked to contribute more, because we know if you contribute once, you're going to be contributing more often. When their friend writes a review, we give them the heads up that their friend has now pinned a place, written a review, commented, etc. We also let the hotel owner know, or the restaurant owner know, that a review has been written. And then when a business owner writes a management response to a review, the traveler is then emailed, completing the circle. We're facilitating that engagement every step of the way. Second tip, not all social is created equal. Just because it's social doesn't automatically make it a good idea. As I mentioned earlier, we tried it on our own. We tried creating our own social network on TripAdvisor, and it was an absolute dud. So we went back to where the action was, which was Facebook. But before embarking on a project, ask yourself, what's your brand getting from it, and how is it going to create a better experience for your users? Experiment and iterate on your ideas to make them better, but be prepared to accept that not everything is going to be a hit, and move on if it's not. And as an aside, we've tried games, we've tried TripAdvisor's version of Word with Friends. We have tried, I can't even begin to count the number of flops we've had in social engagement. We've found some good things that stick, so I encourage you to experiment. And then finally, while ROI is a tough nut to crack, social isn't just feel good, it actually does impact booking and purchasing decisions. The Nielsen research that I mentioned earlier underlines how impactful it is. Trip's experience with personalized users generating more revenue backs this up. Other research shows that consumers are 71% more likely to make a purchase when referred through social media. And actually, hot off my LinkedIn, speaking of yet another social media tool, hot off my LinkedIn update just probably 2 hours ago, studies now show that Pinterest users are 2 times as likely to buy than Facebook users within the context of what they're doing, which is amazing, and something I can't highly recommend enough for the tourism industry looking at Pinterest. So is social worth it? Absolutely. It's innovative, it's fun. My best advice is to jump in, get involved, and enjoy the ride. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Christine. We're running short of time, but is there just one burning question I can take from the audience? One back there.
Robin Westnop from Rabbie's Small Group Tours. Can you explain what the policy TripAdvisor have if reviewers make libelous claims against operators? Do you have a policy where we can raise complaints with you and deal with that?
Yeah, we absolutely do, and I'm glad you asked the question because generally it's the question I'm always asked, which is how to handle reviews. We have guidelines against threats, inappropriate posts, family-friendly, libel, you name it. We have guidelines. We have a lot of structures in place that look at the content before it goes live on our site. But ultimately what we have is we have this community, which is not just the tens of millions of folks that come to our site, but also folks like you, the business owners like you. You do have the ability to post to tag an inappropriate review, which will go into our content team for review. We also have a customer care center, and we also do have the ability to respond to the reviews. So we do take that very seriously, and I think my last slide was my email address, and I encourage everyone to email me. It's amazing. I've given it in front of thousands of people, and I don't think enough people take advantage of it, but I'm happy to help.
Thank you.
Great. Well, listen, please join me in thanking Christine Peterson. Thank you, Christine.